Hello, my beautiful children. Get ready to put on your stilettos and burn some sage, bitches, because it's episode 6 of American Horror Story Apocalypse, and this one's a real tearjerker. After I died of laughter for the first 2 minutes of this episode, Mr. and Mrs. James, aka Madison and Behold, signed the deed to Murder House. Madison has been instructed by Cordelia to search Langdon's childhood home for clues about Michael's past. If they're going to show Michael as pure evil, they'll need proof. The real estate agent tells them he's legally obligated to tell them about the deaths that have happened on the property, all 36 of them. But seeing as Behold and Madison are badass magic users, they decide to purchase it anyway, even though Madison refers to it as a shithole. Then again, she's always a diva, and Behold isn't afraid to call her out on it. Behold tries to use magic on the front door, but it doesn't work. The powers of the witches and warlocks here are thrown off kilter, Behold telling Madison that the psychic energy here is stronger than he's ever felt before. It's not a home, but a prison for the murdered victims. Behold even saying, I pity the souls trapped here. It must be hell. And if you've seen season 1, we know that for the ghosts that roam Murder House, it is their own hell. They're trapped there for good. Later on, when the Satanists arrive, we'll learn that the house itself was built on a portal to hell. Behold takes out his warlock supplies to prepare for a ritual. Michael's family died in this home, and they need those spirits to show themselves so they can find out more about him. He reads from a spell book saying, Monstra te spiritum nu abscondis, which is Latin for, show your spirits, do not hide. We get a brief glimpse of one of the nurses who died in Murder House Season 1, the smoldering children, and, backed by popular demand, it's Tate, who's in the middle of ghost therapy with Dr. Ben Harmon. Tate is dealing with normal ghost problems. He's being ignored by the love of his life, Violet, or love of his death if we want to get literal, because she found out he shot up a school and impregnated her mother. Jeez, Violet, he's a changed man, get over it. Madison and Behold interrupt the session. They seem to know all about Ben and Tate. Behold even brings up that Ben's wife, Vivien, died giving birth to Michael. He's the child of a human, Vivien, and spirit, Tate. If you remember from season 1, Billy Dean Howard, medium to the stars, predicted the very nature of the Antichrist.
A child born of human and spirit will usher in the end of times. It is the essence of evil.
Tate warns them that even people protected from magic aren't safe in this house. But Madison and Behold aren't going to leave empty-handed. They promise to get out of the spirit's hair as long as they answer some questions. But the house has a few tricks up its sleeve. As a creepy red ball drops from the stairs, Madison is tackled by Beau, Constant Langdon's handsome son she kept locked in the attic. He's shooed off Madison by none other than Billy Dean, who we learn is alive, being allowed to walk freely in and out of the house unharmed by the spirits. And then we get one of the most epic moments so far this season, the return of Constance Langdon, who says,
And this is my fucking house.
Madison and Behold make their intentions known to Constance, who doesn't seem too pleased they're there. They're interrupted by Moira O'Hara, yet another character from season 1 who had sex with Constance's husband and was subsequently killed for it. And judging by Constance's back and forth with her, she's still not over it. Madison and Behold question Constance and Billy about Michael. She doesn't give away info for free. If they can abracadabra that bitch Moira out of the house, Constance will tell them everything they need to know. So they do the only logical thing and dig up her body in the backyard. They uncover a skull, but it's not Moira's. That was likely the skull of Hayden McLean, the lover of Ben Harmon, who was also buried there back in season 1. They uncover her bones in what has to be the weirdest gift ever, burying her back with her mother, who she killed back in season 1. Notice the date of death, 2011, the year Murder House takes place. Moira's given a wonderful send-off with her mother so she can be smothered with kisses for eternity. Madison Behold, victorious in getting Moira out of the house, meet with Constance in the hopes she keeps up her end of the bargain. Constance tells them everything she knows, how she assumed the burden of taking care of Michael after his mother died during birth. Michael was to be her second chance of raising a good boy after everything that happened with Tate. She kept baby Michael in the mirror room, the same room she used to punish her daughter Addie when she was being naughty. As he grew up, he would kill small rodents and leave them as presents for her mother, and these gifts just keep getting better. She realizes that God put her on Earth to raise these monsters, and it gave her a sense of purpose. After Michael would kill, she would plant a small rose bush as a burial spot until her entire backyard was filled with bushes. His first human kill happened at the age of 3, his babysitter who Constance was able to pass off as a suicide. But even stranger was the fact he aged over a decade in one night, as if he was in a hurry to get somewhere age-wise. He then attempts to kill Grandma almost as if something has taken over him. He snaps out of it, and the two share a heartwarming grandmother-grandson moment. With him aging and his sporadic bouts of choking, she would need sacred intervention. And we all know how that turned out. Constance tells them that Michael made her feel like her life mattered, but that slowly died away, knowing at any moment he could slit her throat. She was nothing but an invisible stepping stone to where he was going. Distraught and feeling betrayed by God, she ventures into the murder house and commits suicide, ODing on pills and alcohol. She never wanted to see Michael again. Upon her awakening, she finds 3 of her children waiting for her, Addie noticeably absent because, if you remember from season 1, she did not die in the house, rather was brutally run over by a car on Halloween. After she tells her story, she's interrupted by her daughter, who inexplicably has no eyes, before fading away. And thank God there was a commercial break after this scene, because we then see Ben Harmon tear-jerking it in what has to be the saddest happy ending ever. Madison and Behold promise him if he tells them what he knows about Michael, they can fix his crying problems. Michael uncovers his grandmother's body, and Ben tells him her grandmother doesn't want to see him. The spirits in this house can only be seen when they want to be seen. Ben wants to help him. He can't help but think of him as his own son, even though biologically he isn't. In a sweet little montage, they do fun things, like play catch and make crosses on Rubik's Cubes when Michael meets his real dad.
Stay away from my shit, you understand?
It's heartwarming to say the least. Papa Tate makes Tater Tot cry, saying not even himself could make something as monstrous as Michael. Michael turns away from good and embraces the dark side, performing gruesome surgeries in the basement. When the house sells, he kills the new owners, showing no remorse, but even more stunning is his ability to destroy their souls. In a display of his new power, one he doesn't realize he has himself, he lights the 2 souls on fire, making them cease to exist. Ben then turns on him, telling him he could have never helped Michael, and now Michael has lost the only 2 figures who have loved him in life. This betrayal by the ones who loved him most is likely the catalyst for him going full evil. Madison says they need to go back to Cordelia and tell her what they know. Their new supreme is pure evil, but they're interrupted by Vivien, Michael's biological mother, and Ben goes to take care of the crying baby. If you remember from season 1, Vivien gives birth to 2 children, one of whom died during the birth, the other being Michael. She warns Madison and Behold, quoting a passage from Revelations chapter 13, referring to the Antichrist. Then I saw a beast with 10 horns and 7 heads rising out of the sea, and all who dwell on the earth will worship him. Vivien describes her experience with Michael, how crows would circle the house, how hot it was inside, and the arrival of the Black Pope, Anton LaVey, and his cardinals, one of them being Meade, the other played by the actress who played Pepper. Anton tells him it's time to remove the scales from his eyes. In the book of Revelations, there are a number of references to a dragon. Vivien tells them at first she didn't take the Satanists seriously. They were lost souls following a con man from some circus, a nod to Freak Show. Everything seemed fine until the Black Mass. Meade pulls up and offers a ride to a young girl as Don't Fear the Reaper plays on the radio. The girl says thanks, you're a lifesaver, but we know her life will be far from saved. Notice the upside down cross hanging from the rearview mirror, and the syringe Meade stabs the girl with. It's such a lovely night for murder, isn't it? The Black Mass begins with Anton copping a feel and passing a dagger to one of the cardinals. She tells Michael it's all for you.
It's all for you!
A nod to 1976's The Omen. In a scene from Temple of Doom, Anton pulls out the young girl's heart and it's given to Michael to eat. Yum. And we watch as the shadow of the devil looms over him, the other Satanists bowing in reverence. Vivien, fearing what Michael has become, makes the decision to kill him. As she does, she notices 666, the number of the beast that was described in the Bible passage Vivien mentioned earlier from Revelations. Her attempt to kill Michael fails as he engulfs her in flames, only for her to be saved by Tate. From that day forward, he was gone. Vivien says neither Ben nor Tate were the father, rather he was born from the evil of the house. The source of darkness is his true father, and he has come to destroy the world, bringing Billie Jean's prophecy to fruition. Madison and Behold prepare to leave, Behold telling her that if he had known Michael was this evil, they would never have made him supreme. He asks her what they would do if they can't stop him, a question Madison doesn't have the answer to. Violet explains to Madison her troubles with Tate, and in a real turn for Madison's character, she consoles her, telling her that the real evil isn't Tate, rather the house. It used him as a vessel to commit those evil deeds. She thinks that the evil inside Tate left with Michael, giving Violet hope of a future relationship with her sexy ghost boy. Madison blows some fairy dust so she can look fabulous, and she now magically knows how Tate saved his mom. They embrace as the police spirits of the material world plays in the background, Madison and Behold driving back to Cordelia. This episode focused primarily on backstory. In fact, it really didn't advance the plot at all. But I was okay with that since we learned more about who Michael is and how he became that way. His upbringing was one of tragedy, his mother dying in childbirth and the two people who cared for him the most turning their backs on him. It's no wonder when the Satanists arrived telling him he was special that he turned to them and embraced his true path. But this episode was a total nostalgia trip for fans of Season 1. Getting to reunite with old characters, giving a proper send-off to Moira and Constance, and finally answering what made Tate so evil. What I'm interested in is how the witches will use this new information to gain the upper hand on Michael. Who will they need to seek out in order to put a stop to Michael for good? We know it won't go over well because the apocalypse does eventually happen, but with the witches thankfully surviving. I think the key to all this resides with Mallory. In the last episode we saw her heal a deer, but not only did she heal it, it regained its youth, becoming a doe. If Michael can banish souls for good, can Mallory bring them back? Is she the key to somehow reverting the apocalypse? And what will Ariel do when he finds out about Michael's true past? Remember, Meade told Michael not to bring up who his father was to him, and Ariel only wanted Michael to be Alpha so he could stick it to the witches. Not to mention, we still don't know what's going to happen in the current timeline. Cordelia raised Coco, Dinah, and Mallory from the dead before they were interrupted by Michael. What will he do to them? Or rather, what will they do to him? That's it for this breakdown. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a like, and if you didn't, meet me out back by the gazebo. I also have a new Twitter where you can get updates on my latest videos, or if you just want to troll me. And last but not least, because I was a bad boy and didn't do it last week, I want you all to remember, Daddy loves you very much.